Man, Rooster, it's got to be 5 o'clock somewhere. Welcome back, everybody.
You know.
It's Joe.
You made it.
We're back. We got the refills going on.
Yep.
So we left off on talking about how crazy pricing and everything is right now, and inflation and what that looks like. And to kind of continue onto that a little bit before we roll into something else, it's like I just feel for all the families that were struggling before, and that they're going to struggle even more.
Yeah.
And one of the side aspects of that, and I feel like we can come back to that later, is that I feel like it creates more dependency on a state. Once you can't make ends meet, right, you create these subsidy programs that this is not good.
Yeah,
we're supposed to be independent.
Mm-hmm.
We're supposed to be able to work towards our own future, our own goals, our own retirements, things like that. When you're dependent on somebody else to provide those services, that takes away from that American dream.
Right. That's another one of like my fears about this whole scenario and the direction that we're heading is like slowly the government is acquiring more power over us. You know, every day certain things they're thinking that, you know, they're taking it because we aren't smart enough to deal with them or handle them or figure it out by itself. So it's like the government is forcing management on us, passing laws. It's like that old saying, how do you lose your freedom? One little piece at a time.
Yeah. That's very true. It's very true. And you look at what's happened over just in the short time span of the last 20 years in this country and the way things have changed. But we won't get into that right now. We're talking about these other things and how people are just getting creative. And they're people are coming up with like solutions to problems. Because in a time of need, you're gonna develop something.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna create a method. You're gonna create an item or a service or something. There's a lot of people out there doing a lot of cool stuff.
That is one of the things that does give me hope, though. As much as I try to be optimistic about things, but it's like people are still inventing great new technologies that are like blowing my mind with the way that things work and people figuring out how to use things. We've been around so much of the same technology for the last like 20 years. It's cool to see all these like breakthroughs that people are having in science and space and with the James Webb Telescope and
that thing right there is like it's breaking some ground.
Yeah, seriously. Have you seen some of the pictures it's taken? They're gnarly.
Yep.
It's so cool. It's already got a bunch of holes in the mirror though from the asteroids. They can't do anything. They knew that was going to happen. There's nothing they can do about it. But I mean, it'll still be fine and last it there for another 10 or 20 years. But as long as freaking meteor doesn't kill us all or something.
You know, I was watching a presentation about it, and the way that they said that they were angling the telescope, and the reason that they're looking at certain distances within the Milky Way. And I had no idea. I had no idea that our little solar system, it takes 200 million years for us to rotate around the entirety of the Milky Way.
Wow.
Right? So once every 200 million years, we've made one complete loop around the center of the Milky Way. And then they were talking about how many solar systems were in the Milky Way, right? And then they zoomed out and they showed how many galaxies or not galaxies, but I guess it would be a galaxy.
Yeah, Milky Way is our galaxy. Are you talking about that video that you sent me?
It was very similar to that.
Okay.
But they were showing how far they were hoping to capture light through that entirety.
Wow.
Right? So that video I sent you was kind of a comparison to that, where they're trying to capture light from galaxies at the farthest points that it can actually pick up.
Wow.
Which, that's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane. That means that it could very well pick up light from a dead galaxy.
Yeah, right. That hasn't existed for millions of years.
Right.
Yeah.
It blows your mind.
Yeah.
It's like it literally. It's and I didn't really wrap my head around it, but it's literally a time traveler.
Right. Yeah. You're looking into the past, literally, when you see. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, light can only travel the speed of light. So something that's 2 light years away we see the light that emitted from that 2 years ago. So galaxies that are 100,000 light years away, we see it as it was 100,000 years ago because that's how long it's taken the light to reach us. So even that blows my mind because the video you sent me, I've always, it's hard to comprehend the size of the universe, but that video you sent me was just so gnarly with how truly immense our universe is. And it get me thinking about that kind of stuff where you're like, our closest neighboring galaxy is 2.5 billion light years away. Or maybe it was 2.5 million.
I think it's 2.5 million.
Yeah, because the diameter of our galaxy is 100,000 light years.
Well, and then when you look at when they zoomed all the way out, and these were with older telescopes, right? They had traveled a distance away, and then they were able to actually pan out and actually take in a full perspective, and you see what looks like neuron network.
Yeah,
exactly. Right, like our brains. Yeah, like the way they all connect.
Yeah.
And the clouds in between the cosmic dust and everything, and it's like, are we really inside of a sleeping giant?
Right.
This is a little freaky.
Seriously though.
Right?
Yeah.
So
literally though, the whole universe could just be like a brain web of neurons for some immensely infinite creature that we can't even comprehend.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and that's very true because if you think about atoms themselves, right, in subatomic particles and things like that, and how they all build certain things, right? Who's to say we aren't an organism that lives in something else?
Right.
So, I don't know, man. It's weird.
That's one of the crazy arguments. We're getting a little off topic here, but that's all right.
No, but I mean, it was built out of necessity. It was built out of necessity because in order for us to understand how to better take care of our planet because of all the things we've raped it from, we need to understand other things. But we've talked about that too, that there needs to be more necessity of understanding our own planet as opposed to outside of our planet.
Constantly looking outward,
But yeah, I mean, it was built so we had a better understanding of energy. That's a huge component, right? The history of where the planet came from, not us. I mean, we were pond scum at some point.
I mean, not even that long ago. It was like I think it was 3 billion years ago we were pond scum, and the planet's been around for 7.5.
So it's still a baby in the grand scheme of things. But no, people come up with these crazy inventions. They come up with these crazy things out of necessity. And now in the world of energy, like what we're seeing because of pricing and things like that, I feel like a lot more technologies have been pushed forward. Like they're no longer being hidden, or the veil is being pulled back because we might actually be at a crisis point where you're going to need to figure something else out.
Yeah, right.
Because them candles ain't working no more.
Right? Going a little behind, for sure. Yes.
Oh.
Seriously, though. Yeah, it's crazy to think about. It's so easy to get caught up in our little lives that we have, and like we see them as our whole world and our whole reality, and you forget that how tiny and minuscule we are when it comes to like the universe. And one of the best arguments that I've heard for the universe being conscious and being a collection of our consciousness is the fact that we are literally made from stardust, just elements of the universe that are wrapped over. We are the universe that has become conscious. So,
yeah, I don't know. There's a lot more, and the older I get, and the more that I read and the research and things like that, there's a lot of really cool science that's out there that explains things in perspectives that I would have never thought of.
Yeah,
I would have never thought of. When you talk about, when we go back to talking about inventions and things like that, I saw this really cool gadget. This company had this whole Kickstarter project, and it's a countertop composter. And it's literally about the size of a large, half the size of a microwave oven. And so when you get your food scraps and stuff, you just put it in there. It reminded me of Doc and...
Dude, as soon as you were saying that, I was like, I imagine the banana going in there.
And they showed it in the video. They're putting bananas and stuff in there. But what's crazy is it breaks it down and it composts it and doesn't smell. And then, every so often you got to empty the container out. and you can use it for your house plants, or you can use it for your personal garden and things like that. And I thought, what a cool way to actually take a byproduct that would go to a landfill.
Yeah, right.
Or, maybe you got leftovers that you didn't eat, that, salad or, vegetables or something that you didn't eat.
Right.
You could still use it because it's not money lost.
Yeah. To still be able, because there's still energy in that food. The energy that we digest and gain, it's still there.
Right.
So you can harness that. That's crazy. People are getting smarter and fucking smarter.
They're coming up with some weird shit.
Yeah.
They're coming up. Yeah. I'm just waiting for somebody to bring the clapper back.
The clap off, the clapper. I used to have one of those in my room. That shit was so funny.
I can see it coming back too. I can see it coming back. You definitely wouldn't want to live next to like an amphitheater with one of those. Probably look like a disco in your house. Should have just been going.
The house is possessed. No, we just got a concert going on next door. Everything's fine.
Yeah, I don't know how that would work out very well.
Right. I still can't help but think that like this pay difference is just going to increase and increase and increase, and 90% of the population is going to die in some catastrophe or something, and then there's going to be the 10% of the rich people who have all the smarts and the technology and fly away in a ship somewhere. That's why I'm trying to make money. So that one day, if we're buying seats on a spaceship...
I'd like one ticket, sir.
Get me off of this fucking rock.
One ticket. One ticket.
It might end up like Futurama as just your head. You're like, no,
I've
been working on this for a while. I'm ready to go.
Just a ship full of glass jar heads.
Oh my god. I don't know, it could happen.
But even if, just to get even more off tangent, even if that did happen and we had to leave and go to the closest Earth-like planet, it's still going to take us 100 years to reach it. And by that time, like, human society is going to be so different and molded. We're going to need to be in AI bodies, essentially, in, like, robot
and
bodies.
that kind of, and that's why I feel like that Netflix show, and it's a
Altered Carbon?
Yeah. There's so much viability to that, because you could be on one planet and literally they can beam you.
Your consciousness at light speed.
And they reassemble your consciousness on the other end and they put you in a sleeve, which is a human body if you didn't watch the show. And you're up and running around. Now, you won't look like what you looked like before unless you can afford to have your body cloned where you're going.
Replicated, yeah.
But I feel like that's where it's going to go.
Yeah.
But then at that point, why would human civilization increase, right?
True.
Because why would you want to reproduce?
You don't need to make more consciousnesses because consciousnesses are immortal.
Right. So why would we would, as a population, we wouldn't increase?
Yeah.
Right. I feel like there's got to be some middle ground to that. I don't know. I feel like I'm still going to see something like that in my lifetime.
Yeah.
I think for sure you will in your lifetime. The metaverse, right?
Yeah.
And how that turned out to be a giant fucking flop. It's like watching a bad episode of Lawnmower Man.
What is Lawnmower Man?
You've never seen the old horror? Oh, you got to check it out.
It's a horror movie.
Yeah.
What do you just run up on people with a lawnmower and grind them up?
We'll talk about it later, but put that on your watch list.
Okay, I will. Yeah.
Because that is a great movie. When it came out, I was like, holy shit. Right?
That's funny. What do we got on time?
Oh, we're almost there.
We're almost there. It's almost time for a refill.
Almost there. But yeah, the reality of where we're going and what's crazy though too is that when you think about where we are and the inflation and what's going on, it's like the entire world population except for a handful of countries has been on a decline for a long time.
Yeah.
So we have less people being born, but we're consuming more.
Yeah. But we have currently the most amount of people who have ever lived
Oh yeah.
on the planet.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, but I've been seeing a bunch of stuff about that too. You're right about how this is basically the peak of our population will ever reach. It might go up to like 12 billion, they said, as an absolute max, but they're like, anyway, it's about to hit that curve and get back on the decline.
Right.
That's a big reason Russia is like struggling to gain money and popularity, and because I've been hearing that their population is like steadily declining, and they're struggling to create Russian citizens because nobody is having babies over there.
But it's not just them; it's the entirety of the world. And
Yeah.
But that's the crazy thing about, if you look at the global population and its decline over the last, let's just say 2 decades, but yet the cost of living and everything is skyrocketing. It's like, wait a minute, how's this work?
What's happening here?
But I also see, we're talking about people inventing things. I feel like when you have less people to do the same jobs and tasks that were required before, you're going to see innovation and automation.
For sure.
You're going to see robots.
Robot.
You ready to order your Big Mac from a robot?
Oh my gosh. I mean, it's like when Amazon said they were going to start delivering packages by drone.
Yeah.
That scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine? It's bad enough when a bird shits on you.
Amazon drone comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Jesus. Oh, somebody ordered a pound of fucking rocks? Jesus. That's funny.
All right, folks, we'll be right back. We're going to take a break and get a refill.
Yep.
See you in a few.
That does it for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to, that show.